August 2016. A private jet touches down in Las Vegas. Inside sits a man whose casino empire spans continents, whose political donations reshape elections, and whose influence reaches the highest levels of American government. Sheldon Adelson has just committed $25 million to a presidential campaign. The money flows through a network of super PACs and dark money groups, so complex that even campaign finance lawyers struggle to trace its path. The check clears. The candidate wins. Democracy, it seems, has been auctioned to the highest bidder. This is another video where money, power, and history collide, and nothing is ever as simple as it looks. Most Americans know the story they've been told about campaign finance. Wealthy donors give money to politicians. Politicians return favors through policy. The system looks corrupt because it is corrupt. This narrative satisfies our need for simple explanations, but it misses the deeper machinery at work. The casino industry discovered something the rest of corporate America hadn't yet grasped. Political influence isn't about buying individual politicians. It's about buying the entire system that produces politicians. It's about funding the think tanks that shape policy ideas, the media outlets that frame debates, the academic centers that train future leaders, and the advocacy groups that mobilize voters. Sheldon Adelson understood this before most. So did Steve Wynn. So did the Fertitta family. They weren't just casino operators. They were architects of a new form of American oligarchy. The mechanism worked like a vast money laundering operation, except everything was perfectly legal. Casino profits generated in Macau and Las Vegas flowed into American political organizations through an alphabet soup of entities. 501c4s, 501c6s, super PACs, leadership PACs, independent expenditure committees. The Venetian Corporation reports gambling revenue. The Sands Corporation reports real estate income. The Las Vegas Sands Political Action Committee reports campaign contributions. Each entity operates in a different regulatory universe with different disclosure requirements and different oversight mechanisms. Adelson's network alone included dozens of interconnected organizations. The Republican Jewish Coalition, which he effectively controlled. The Zionist Organization of America, which he funded. The Israel-American Council, which he helped create. The Foundation for Defense of Democracies, which shaped foreign policy debates. Each organization appeared independent. Each advanced overlapping agendas. The genius lay in the structure's redundancy. When one organization faced scrutiny, others continued operating. When one funding mechanism faced legal challenges, others provided alternative channels. When one political candidate disappointed, others stood ready to receive support. Steve Wynn perfected a different approach. Where Adelson built ideological institutions, Wynn cultivated personal relationships. His Rolodex included governors, senators, presidents, and foreign leaders. His political investments focused on access rather than advocacy. He wanted to know what regulations were coming before they were announced. He wanted to influence policy before it crystallized into law. The Fertitta family chose a third path, local dominance. They saturated Nevada and Texas politics with contributions, ensuring that state and local officials understood the casino industry's interests. When federal politicians needed insights into gaming regulation or tourism policy, they naturally turned to officials from casino-heavy states. Each family developed their own political technology, but they shared certain techniques. They hired the same consulting firms that worked for major political campaigns. They retained the same law firms that represented political parties. They employed the same public relations agencies that managed crisis communications for governments. The consulting firms provided more than services. They provided intelligence. A firm working for both casino clients and political candidates could share insights about upcoming legislation, regulatory changes, and electoral vulnerabilities. Information flowed in all directions through networks of shared consultants, shared lawyers, and shared public relations professionals. The casino billionaires weren't buying policies as much as they were buying political infrastructure. They funded the ecosystem that generated policies. They supported the organizations that trained policymakers. They financed the institutions that legitimized policy ideas. The transformation accelerated after the 2010 Citizens United decision, which removed restrictions on corporate political spending. Casino companies could now fund political activities directly rather than routing money through individual donors. The scale of their political investments exploded. Adelson's political spending jumped from millions to tens of millions to hundreds of millions. His total political investments between 2010 and 2020 approached $1 billion. Wynn's political network expanded from Nevada to national scope. The Fertittas became major players in Texas Republican politics. Other industries watched and learned. Tech billionaires adopted similar strategies. Energy executives built comparable networks. Financial services leaders created parallel institutions. The casino industry had pioneered techniques that reshaped American political financing. The 2016 election revealed the system's maturation. Casino billionaires didn't just support candidates. They effectively selected them. Adelson's early support helped establish the Republican primary hierarchy. His late campaign contributions helped secure the general election outcome. Wynn's transition team participation helped staff the new administration. The appointments that followed reflected casino industry priorities. Gaming-friendly officials took key regulatory positions. Gambling skeptics found themselves marginalized. International casino expansion faced fewer bureaucratic obstacles. Domestic casino regulation became more accommodating. The influence wasn't always direct. Sometimes it worked through omission rather than commission. Certain investigations weren't pursued. Certain regulations weren't enforced. Certain policy options weren't considered. The casino industry's political investments created a climate where their interests rarely faced serious challenge. Foreign policy provided the clearest example. Adelson's support for specific Middle East policies aligned with his business interests in that region. His political contributions helped elect officials who shared those policy preferences. His think tank funding shaped the intellectual climate around those issues. His media investments influenced public opinion about those questions. The pattern repeated across multiple policy domains. Immigration policy affected casino labor markets. Tax policy affected casino profit margins. Trade policy affected international casino operations. Infrastructure policy affected casino development projects. The casino billionaires built political networks capable of influencing all these areas simultaneously. The 2020 election cycle demonstrated both the system's power and its limitations. Adelson's political network helped deliver key swing states. His media properties shaped crucial narratives. His advocacy organizations mobilized specific voter groups. Yet his preferred policy outcomes often failed to materialize. The lesson wasn't that political investments guarantee policy outcomes. The lesson was that political investments guarantee policy consideration. Casino industry priorities remained on the agenda even when they didn't become law. Casino industry concerns shaped debate parameters even when they didn't determine debate outcomes. The casino billionaires had purchased something more valuable than specific policies. They had purchased ongoing political relevance. Their phone calls got returned. Their meetings got scheduled. Their policy papers got read. Their concerns got addressed. Today's political landscape bears their fingerprints everywhere. The super PAC system they helped pioneer now dominates campaign finance. The dark money networks they helped create now span every industry. The influence techniques they helped develop now define American political competition. The names on the checks have changed. The amounts have grown larger. The networks have become more sophisticated. The underlying machinery remains the same. Concentrated wealth translates into concentrated political power through legal mechanisms that most Americans don't understand and can't influence. Tech billionaires fund policy institutes that shape AI regulation. Energy billionaires support think tanks that influence climate policy. Finance billionaires back organizations that affect banking oversight. Each industry learned from the casino pioneers that political influence requires political infrastructure. The casino billionaires didn't invent American oligarchy. They simply perfected its modern form. They showed other concentrated wealth holders how to convert economic power into political power systematically and sustainably. They demonstrated that democratic institutions could be captured without breaking democratic rules. The most elegant aspect of their innovation was its invisibility. The political system appears to function normally. Elections still occur. Representatives still vote. Citizens still participate. The machinery of democracy continues operating while serving increasingly oligarchic purposes. We tell ourselves that money count by elections only influence them. We comfort ourselves that voters ultimately decide, not donors. We maintain faith that democratic institutions constrain concentrated wealth. The casino billionaires understood that the most effective political investments are the ones that never look like investments at all. The house always wins. In casinos, the odds favor management. In politics, the same principle applies. Those who own the game's infrastructure don't need to control every outcome. They just need to ensure that every outcome serves their interests. The casino billionaires didn't break American democracy. They simply taught it to gamble with itself.